Aloha and good morning. Welcome to the House Committee on Tourism and Economic Development. It is Thursday, March 16th, 9:45 a.m., and we are in room 423. We have one bill on our agenda today, SB 1522, relating to economic development. What a great title. Our first testifier is Tibet with comments.
Thank you, sir. Chairs, vice chairs, members of the committee, Chris Sadayasu with Tibet Director, and we stand on our written testimony offering comments.
Thank you very much. Next we have No Tax with comments.
Chair, Vice Chair, members, my name is Brian Davidson. On behalf of the Department of Taxation, I'm here to answer any questions on our comments that we submitted.
Thank you very much. Next we have the Hawaii Tourism Authority with comments.
Chair Quinlan, Vice Chair Hussey Burdick, Chair Holt, and Vice Chair Lamasau, as well as members of both committees. We stand on our written testimony, but let me emphasize that HTA recognizes that the impacts of tourism are real and require management. As Hawaii emerges from the pandemic, HTA continues its pivot to destination management initiated just before the onset of the pandemic. The Council on Revenues and the University of Hawaii Economic Research Organization agree that a softening global economy could have negative impacts to Hawaii. Ahead of making major structural changes to the agency responsible for managing Hawaii's visitor industry, an agency that is delivering results, studying alternative models in tourism governance would be a valuable and prudent approach to take. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Next we have the Kahala Coast Resort Association with comments. Right here, all right. We also have Hawaii Lodging and Tourism Association with comments. The Maui Hotel and Lodging Association with comments. And the Maui Chamber of Commerce with comments. And we also have a number of individuals with comments, some in support and one in opposition. Is there anyone here or on Zoom that would like to testify on this measure?
Yes.
All right, please go ahead. Oh, I think I see Darla Palmer. Is that you? Please go ahead, Darla.
Yes, thank you. My name is Darla Palmer Ellingson, and I'm speaking in support of SB 1522 SD2 because so many places in Hawaii we enjoyed in our youth are no longer available to visit. They've become overrun, abused, and ultimately shut down due to over-tourism. The Aina and Kai still suffer. I fully support SB 1522 to dissolve the Hawaii Tourism Authority and focus on destination management. This must be done now before we reach the awful tipping point where the environment continues to be irreparably harmed. We lose our local population and more of our workforce. Tourists decide Hawaii is undesirable, and we regret not creating sustainable practices that honor Hawaii's history, culture, and communities. And I have to say, I say this with irony, as I've spent decades in Hawaii tourism marketing, shifting a few years ago to focus on the climate crisis, most recently serving as the communications coordinator for the County of Maui Climate Action and Resiliency Plan process. What we do know in Hawaii is tourism is far exceeding our community plans. But when we stop marketing tourism, tourism doesn't go away. We're not killing the tourism industry by making this move. However, by shifting the emphasis to destination management, we can fill huge service gaps and improve livability for residents. For example, the Kanaka Rangers program, if you haven't seen this, I encourage you to explore it. Hawaiian-led program which helps tourists understand culturally appropriate behavior. Many state and county enforcement services related to tourism could be adequately staffed and funded. We're great at initiating programs, but without enforcement and people on the ground, they're not effective. Public information and historical cultural sites could be actively monitored and staffed with historic preservation officer staff. All new or extensively remodeled hotel and vacation accommodations could be compelled to be carbon neutral. These are just a few examples, but the point is, no agency keeps overall watch on the ground. HTA, activity, and hotel associations run the same self-serving, murky water where millions in public funds and grant money dissipate into thin air with little accountability and little action. In addition to reviewing our own issues and solutions here at home, DBET would have an opportunity to neutrally study and adopt regenerative tourism and destination management best practices from other island communities. Palau is a great example. Island innovation is a great example. Something HTA did not accomplish.
I'm sorry, your time is about up. Could you sort of summarize?
Yep, I will. I just wanted to touch on economic development, which SB 1522 also touches on. We talk about this a lot, but we don't take significant action. We need non-tourism economic development in the mix. And finally, most significantly, the clock is ticking on climate change actions that must occur globally. So minimizing the carbon footprint of tourism is a critical consideration. It's time for change and a true shift of focus from marketing to better management. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on this measure, either on Zoom or in person?
Cheers.
Please.
Hello, Chair Quinlan, Chair Holt, honorable members of the joint committees. Okay, Cole McClellan on behalf of the American Hotel and Lodging Association and the Hawai'i Hotel Alliance offering comments on this particular measure. It's a pleasure to see you all here at this particular juncture in session, talking about something near and dear to many of us. AHLA represents more than 160 unique properties in Hawaii. Our partners at the Hawai'i Hotel Alliance, the largest hotel association, represent more than 31,000 rooms, and collectively we have more than 110,000 member employees, and we fully support the House and the Senate's commitment to investing in destination management and into strategic marketing for our primary industry, Hawaii's tourism and hotel and lodging industry. Now, just a couple of quick comments for your mutual consideration. We know that for a generation, our legal hotels have done a fantastic job of investing in aina, in place, in our wahipana, and in curating visitor experiences that tend to create much more benefit than cost. And we're very proud of the work that our members have done as an industry to collectively support some of the values that the joint committees here and some of your colleagues in the legislature have advocated for in recent years. And so as you think through retooling any activity related to the primary business that we have here in the islands, we know that the best ways forward are through collective and cooperative work. And so we wanted to offer some comments that related also specifically to the impact of our hotels versus illegal short-term rentals. We never miss an opportunity to point out the true impact on our communities. Hawaii's hotels pay fantastic wages. We reinvest in our communities. You know, many hotels have community engagement programs in the multi-million dollar range. The state has a $2.5 million engagement program, which is fantastic. Our hotels are doing that voluntarily. And we do them because we care about our communities. We know that the best assets that we have are not the buildings and the beaches, but the men and women that work in and around our properties, and we care very much for them. And when they go home and they see 3 million more people visiting Hawaii in their communities, not in our resort districts, we know that that is the problem. So we're very pleased that the Destination Management Action Plans have universally identified illegal short-term rentals as the number one, if not among the number one problems. And we know that your continued investment in DMAP and strategic marketing for quality visitors that stay at our hotels will be top of mind as you manage this issue. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify in this measure? All right, seeing none. Members, questions? Nakamura.
Thank you. For Mr. DeFries from Hawaii Tourism Authority, thank you for being here and for your testimony. I wanted to ask you, what organizational changes do you envision implementing so that our destination management plans can be implemented?
Sure. It started a year ago, a little over a year ago, when we elevated Caroline Anderson to Director of Planning. and then she has one direct report to her right now. We're in the process of redescribing a senior brand manager and brand manager to now fall under her direction. In addition, in each county, we have a DMAP manager who is attached to the island chapter, but take their direction and priorities from Caroline. And so at this point, let me say this. What we see moving forward is the need to actually have on-island presence, full-time staff that is doing this work. You of all people know how much time it took for you to put the solution together at Hanalei and the number of community engagements and meetings that took place. So for this to be effective, that full-time, 24/7, every day of the year presence in each county is, I believe, where it's headed. We're not going to get there in this session or maybe in this biennium, but we're certainly going to try and make that point clear.
Thank you very much.
Members, any further questions? No? All right, if not, let us recess for DM. Welcome back to decision making on our 9:45 agenda. Before I read out the amendments, I just want to say publicly and thank publicly John DeFries and your entire staff. I'm very sorry that there's been so much uncertainty at HTA. I really can't apologize enough for the way all this has gone down. I want to thank you guys for your loyalty to the state. I want to thank you guys for your hard work. It has not gone unnoticed, and you guys have started the important work of destination management. Everything that we're doing right now started with you guys, so mahalo so much, really. Thank you. All right, so I would like to do a whole bunch of things to this measure. So first of all, we are going to rename it to the Office of Destination Management. On page 48, part 4, it will, it's not the HTA plan, it will be the Office of Destination Management Plan. Page 53, line 16, I'm going to put in $100 million. We're also going to add language for a tourism czar from a previous measure that we heard in this committee, because I think it's important to have somebody at the cabinet level to interface with the administration to make sure that we execute on our DMAPs. Perhaps most importantly, we're going to strike the entire purpose section, also known as the preamble. We are going to, as far as the board is concerned, they will still be gov-appointed, but we are going to remove the advice and consent of the Senate. And we're going to add some positions. We're going to add a public information officer. We're going to add an admin assistant for the director of the convention center. We're going to add an admin assistant for the senior cultural manager. We're going to add a senior brand manager for the Asia market. And we're going to add one more full-time position for Maui, Oahu, and Hawai'i Island. For Maui, we would like one for Maui Island and one for Molokai and Lanai. For the Big Island, we'd like one for Kona and one for Hilo. And we'll have 2 on Oahu because there's just a lot of people on Oahu. We're also going to defect the date to the House defective date of June 30, 3000. Members, questions, comments, concerns? Rep. Pierik.
I'd like to thank everybody involved in crafting this bill, and I know that there is a high population overrun in the state with tourists, with 10 million tourists in 2019. That's, I think, too many tourists, but personally. It does supply over 200,000 jobs in Hawaii, the tourists industry. So I think if we're trying to help this problem, we might just want to attract less tourists, which this bill would do that. But I think if we just maybe even altogether stop using tax dollars to advertise to the tourists and let the private sector attract their own tourists, and then just create a statute that says you can only attract maybe 60% from the Asian market, maybe 40% from other markets. That might attract our higher paying, more socially responsible clientele. And so for those reasons, I'll be voting no.
Thank you very much. Well, I don't know if this bill would create less or fewer tourists, but hopefully better tourists and the right tourists. Members, any further questions, comments, concerns? Majority Leader.
Thank you, Chair, for these amendments to the Senate bill. I think, we can talk about destination management, but until we do the things to give this agency the tools that they need, the resources they need, and the positions they need to implement the destination management plans, then it's all for nothing. So I feel that this is a move in the right direction, and thank you for these amendments.
Thank you very much. Members, any further questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
Tourism Committee members, we're voting on SB 1522 SD2. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Holt.
Aye.
Representative Kong is excused. Representative Lachika.
Aye.
Representative Lamasau.
Aye.
Representative Nakamura.
Aye.
Representative Perrick. No. Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you, members.
ECD Committee, same recommendation. Any questions? If not, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on the same measure on economic development. Recommendation of the chair is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Member Hasi Burdick.
Aye.
Member Kong, excuse. Member Lachika.
Aye.
Member Nakamura.
Aye.
Member Quinlan.
Aye.
Member Pirrett.
No, please.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much, everyone.